Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. I'm your host, Lori Hins. And for our fifth and final segment tonight, last but definitely not least, former Governor Ed Schafer, also former U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Ed Schafer, who was at the convention yesterday. Ed, thank you for zooming in from Fargo. You're back home already.
Yeah, it's great to be with you, Lori.
Now, I'm glad that you left because it was snowing today, and it probably wouldn't have been very good travels today. So I'm kind of happy you left and beat that out.
I thought winter was over. I thought we were going to be done with that.
Same. I'm totally with you. And I saw those big flakes. So you spoke at the convention yesterday. You kind of keynoted, which was, I mean, kind of. You don't kind of keynote. You literally keynoted. And you also then had a nice little comment about Rosemary Myrdal, because she was an award winner. And I love that woman. I got to spend some time with her when I was just first running for National Committee Woman. And she's just a phenomenal inspiration should be to women interested in anything political.
Sure.
But thank you for doing that. I really enjoyed that too. So let's talk a little bit about the convention and your thoughts and views on how it went. Was it unifying? I have lots of questions.
Well, I think we all have lots of questions. And you know, the conventions are conventions. They're always, you know, differences of opinion, and some people are supporting one candidate, another, and you know, that's the interaction and the fun, and that's really how you develop a party. How neighbors get to know neighbors, how people share values and share what they believe about candidates and the party and their government and all those kinds of things. So you know, that's what's the most fun about conventions, I think. And my only observation about this one is we tried to jam in what usually is a 2-day convention into one afternoon. And what that didn't allow is it didn't allow people to kind of come together. You know, like for instance, we had a couple of real, you know, interesting, tough elections. We had a couple of tough votes. They were close. They were a couple of hundred of votes apart. And you had a winner and a loser. And, you know, normally after that, you have time at a convention to hang around, you talk in the halls, you talk to your neighbor and say, well, I guess your candidate won and mine didn't. And, you know, you just have a chance to kind of unload and unpack all that stuff and then get back into the order of the business. And we really didn't have a chance to do that. We were back to back to back to back, and you just didn't ever get, in my opinion, we just didn't come together as a community of Republicans. We came together as a bunch of individuals who were supporting one candidate or one philosophy or one set of ideals with each other, but you know, that was it.
Now, how about that grassroots involvement, though? I mean, we have never seen 2,300 delegates at a convention before in an off year. Very unusual.
Oh, that was exciting. My gosh, 2,321 registered candidates. And I made the comment there when I was up at the podium that when I started in the political business back in the 90s, I don't think we had 2,300 Republicans. You know?
Well, you are widely credited with the beginnings of actually getting this state to become more conservative. So kudos to you for taking one for the team with very few people to start with.
Yeah, well, that's what, you know, that's what you do. I mean, you build that support out there, and most importantly, perform. And you build trust with voters, you build trust with your citizens by performing in office and delivering a government that they want or they ask for. And so what you know, we had all these candidates there, and it's exciting. One of the concerns I have is, you know, we have like, I think 2 different ideas about what the Republican Party is all about. One is those people who are steeped in the values of faith and family and friendship. And then others who are saying, I'm mad about something. I don't like our government. I hate this, or I don't do that. And some candidate charging them up on, hey, you know, you vote for me, you come, and I'm going to fight for you. So you come to the convention. And they go, and they've never been there before. They don't so they're really just supporting an individual, and they aren't supporting the ideals of a party. And so we got to figure out how to bring those first timers into the party, include them in our party, and figure out how to use the strength of all those now new people in our party, into developing the image and support for the Republican Party.
I absolutely agree with all of that. I do. I think also that we are kind of handicapped in one way, and that is that we don't have a very strong Democrat Party in the state right now to unite behind a common goal against them. And I think that am I wrong in thinking we might be better off with a stronger Democrat Party to be able to?
Well, Lori, I as a Republican, I want every office holder to be a Republican, right? So
right.
But I can tell you, when I was a governor, and I had a Democratic Senate and a Republican House of Representatives, it was easier. It was easier to develop policy because you weren't fighting with each other; you were fighting against the other guy, And,
right.
and it wasn't necessarily fighting, but you had a discourse and you had this back and forth. This is right, you're wrong, this is good. And you kind of sorted that all out. Now we're having that internal fight. I mean, when we don't like something, we don't like the way government is, or we don't like the direction, then it's our own fault. And so we can only beat up each other. And really it was in my opinion, and I think your thought there is right. When you have strong opposition, when you have competition, when you're really having to push your ideals and make sense out of them and making sure they work, having someone there pushing back on the other side is good for the whole process.
Absolutely. Now, in about the last minute here, before we're done, can you give me just a quick recap of your favorite thing of the convention, or what you saw that was most encouraging?
Well, my favorite thing, of course, was seeing old footage from 30 years ago when I was.
I like that too. That was really great. Your hair looked different. You looked really different.
I had a dark mustache, but that was fun. And it just, I tell you what I love about the convention, the buzz. I mean, everywhere where people were, when they're out, if they're standing in line at the concession stand, or they're talking in the hall, or they're getting a drink, or even in the bathrooms, people they're talking about who they are and what they like and what they do. And it's just that neighborly friendliness, common interest, people all gathering together. And I just really like that. I like the buzz of people, coming together with a common cause and thinking, let's go out and try to help. Let's go out and try to do something. Let's go out and try to make it better. And that's always exciting when you gather a bunch of people together.
I thought the exact same thing. Ed Schafer, thank you very much for being on the program. I want to call you governor. You're still governor technically, but thank you very much for being on the program. I very much appreciate it. We'll talk again soon.